Have you guys ever just thought, I really wonder what it feels like to shoot myself in the leg or to get shot anyway? Well, maybe you should just buy a Sig product here. Do you guys unintentionally want to shoot yourself or accidentally shoot yourself in the leg, but it totally not be the gun's fault and it be some other reason? Well, maybe you should buy a Sig. Maybe you should buy a Sig P320. Maybe you should buy a Sig P365 XL. Maybe you should join the army and get a sidearm. Hello everyone, welcome to the Tactical Dad channel. Shout out to all the other tactical dads out there, or whoever you are watching this video. Thank you for watching. Hit that like or subscribe button. Thank you very much. Okay, what do we got here? We got another Sig trash product. Sig doesn't stand behind their products whatsoever, as you can see from news articles. As you can see from press releases here, they are totally denying accountability for the actions that their firearms went off all by themselves without any human involvement. There are plenty of videos out there, guys, of body cam, especially mostly body cam footage of police officers getting in and out of their car, and they have like total retention on their firearms with like a cap on there. There's nothing in the trigger guard and somehow they go off. Sig, step up to the plate, be accountable. I don't want to shoot myself. I buy a gun to protect myself, not to get shot by the gun itself. Humans hurt people usually, not guns hurt people, but in this instance, guns are hurting people, but it's not their fault. All right, guys, this gun is clear. Indicator, nothing in the chamber. This is my Sig P365 XL. This is what I carry on a day in, day out basis. It has a Sig Romeo 0, which is also known for being a trash product. A lot of people say they have problems holding zero. They just shut off automatically. Battery life like that. They are known for not being the best. They are $100 for a reason. They're probably the bottom line of most red dot type of optics to put on a firearm. Sig Zero, Romeo 0 comes in a ARM SC footprint, I believe. We'll double check that. This thing, I've replaced the battery twice on. I have been lucky myself not to have any issues with this whatsoever. Let's double check. It is still currently on. They offer in a 3 MOA version, which is what I have here, and they offer in a 6 MOA version. If you stumble across this video because you're looking at dots, I personally, if I were to go back, I would buy the 6 MOA dot. I thought it was ridiculous to have something that big and this small of a window to be looking at. I now have shot 8 MOA dots in a little bit bigger housings. I've shot 6 MOA dots. I definitely wish I went with the bigger one. Just being able to pick up that dot, and that is very small. Yes, it is perfect for 20 to 50 yard shots, but how many times are you actually going to do that? I'll practice at the range, but if you look at the statistics, most shootings happen within like the 5 to 10 feet. Most of it, I believe, is like 7 yards. So you're not usually going to be taking those type of shots, especially as a civilian, not as like a police officer working patrol, possibly getting into a shooting. We are very less likely, and it's going to happen at a very close distance. That's on that optic. You can get hollow suns. Guys, they are all made in China, unless you get into the $700, $1,000 red dot optics, which I personally can't afford. Then you'll get some USA made ones, like Trijicon Primary Arms came out with that new one. Maybe a few other companies out there, but they're all made in China. If you're paying $200-300 for a red dot, I think there are a lot better hollow sun optics out there. Even the Swamp Fox, I believe it's a Kraken, is an enclosed emitter. You got the EPS by Hollow Sun Carry, that's an enclosed emitter. Yeah, you're going to pay $300-400, but you probably have a little bit more guarantee that they are going to work. The only thing I would recommend with this gun is, yes, I do like the Sig Romeo 0 on here because it is pretty much made for this firearm. It fits perfectly in that footprint. Not bulging or sitting out on the sides at all. Boom, I know I'm flagging you. I hope that doesn't go through the screen, and it won't because I am a responsible gun owner. But the size of it is perfect for this firearm. It is like married up there. It's a good couple. They do say that they have co-witness sights on here, but it's hard. They're not as elevated as most are, but it is, yeah, you do have a cutout for co-witnessing. So the other problem I've had with this gun is also while doing reloads, it's also just gone back into battery by itself. We'll see if we can replicate that all. Yeah, we do have to use loaded mags. We're pointed in a safe direction. So when I would slam this up, they would just automatically go into battery without me hitting the thumb release. So let's see if we can replicate it for you. No, on that magazine, that is the new. However, it is jammed in there. So it seemed like we did get a release because it was jammed in there and I actually had to move. You can see that slide back. Still clear. Okay. So somehow it did release a little bit. There you go. Boom. How did that happen? Problems that I have had with this firearm. Yes, I've had some. Most recently, last time we took it out shooting, I was not getting any slide lock to the back on my last round shots with the magazine inserted. Yes, had a few witnesses to this and it was not locking. The other problem I've had with this gun is not being able to really depress this whatsoever. You can see now it is starting to get better, but I've had this gun for about 2 years now, I believe. And I had a very hard time. I had to like double thumb this thing, guys. So most of the time I was just old school racking it out of the serrations on the rear of the slide. So those are the problems I've had with it. The light is not Sig. Trigger had no problems with whatsoever. It's all been slide issues. So I got this gun because my dad, he carried the exact same one. I shot it. And I shot this gun very, very well compared to other guns I have shot and tested before. So that's why I ended up going with this, because I was going to carry it most days. Is decent size to where, yeah, it's not full size, but I can shoot it at the range and practice with it. And talking with him, he had the same problem. He contacted Sig, and I've heard this stuff before. So if you are having problems with your Sig, it is probably because you need to store the gun locked back and break in this spring here on the front bottom. I have no idea what that spring's called, but you need to break in that spring. I thought I had because I thought I'd shot probably 500 rounds through this thing. Ends up, I don't think I have. Probably only shot like 250 through it, maybe 200. So also shooting some hot loads like 147 hollow points plus P. Breaking in that spring, hammering that thing back, just doing some good cycles on it. So when you're storing your firearm, if you're having similar problems, store it to the rear. I have noticed I've been storing this thing for 3 days now with it locked to the rear, and it is a lot easier, as you can see. It is pretty light to be able to actually depress that. So next range day, we will follow up and see if we're getting more slide lock. When I was shooting the 147 plus Ps, I was getting slide lock reload consistently, every single one, actually without one failure whatsoever. So that seems like it's corrected itself. Are all Sig products trash? I don't believe so. The big thing to look out with Sig, though, is they do have like 2 tiers of categories of products. And the Sig Romeo Zero is definitely on the bottom end. Some of their cheaper optics, very affordable, guys, get you into the market. But they're $200, made in China. They're low end. The stuff that they're putting on the new military contract guns, kind of the Gucci stuff, those are like $2,000 optics. Those are the nice things. I haven't tested one personally, but they do have 2 very clear product lines. They have top end stuff and they have bottom end stuff. It doesn't really seem like to me they have really mid-range stuff. So they kind of cater to the poors and they cater to the government contracts. So the problem, though, that I do see with Sig is them somehow gaslighting that they do not have any problems with the Sig P320 and it's misfiring and shooting cops in the leg, I'd say monthly almost at this point. There's been like 20 instances on the last video that I kind of checked on it. So why is there no accountability? How are they just gaslighting this and saying it's not their problem? One big thing is because the government contracts, I believe, they just took all the government contracts for the U.S. Army, for the heavy squad weapon, for the new infantry weapon, and for the sidearm. So boom, monopolize that whole platform. what would happen if they had to take ownership of that? Well, they would have to be... I just heard something. One sec. I got scared. All right, the house is clear. I thought I heard someone walking down the stairs. It always seems like it happens when I'm recording. So back to the rant. What would happen? They would have to recall all those firearms. Obviously, mostly the M18, I think is what they're calling it, the infantry sidearm weapon type of gun. Probably all the MPs are wearing that now, using it as their service weapon. So they would have to recall hundreds, maybe thousands of those firearms. I think that's one reason they are not potentially. But yeah, I would like to have a weapon in a company that I believe in that stands by their products. So honestly, right now, would I recommend this gun? If it's specifically what you want, yeah. But I also believe the most basic, utilitarian, affordable, most used type of sidearm out there is the GLOCK. GLOCK 43X. Still sounds like something's coming. GLOCK 43X, GLOCK 45s, GLOCK 17, GLOCK 19, whatever you guys want to carry. Some people like carrying full size, but the GLOCK line has been around for years. It has so much aftermarket support. A lot of people use them, and that's what I would honestly probably be going with right now if I was to choose another sidearm to carry because of what's going on with SIG. Those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Let me know what you guys believe of yours down below. Thank you guys for watching this video. This is the Tactical Dad channel. As always, thank you so much for your support. Leave some comments or anything down below to help the channel out. And as always, we will see you in the next one. As always, it's family time. I see you! Get on the ground!